business class flights home from the Maldives, a luxury resort in Bora Bora, and even something as simple as a Spring Hill Suites. All of these things and many more have been possible thanks to airline and hotel co-branded cards. Keep listening as we talk all about this type of credit card and how they fit into our points and miles games. Welcome to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. We are three moms who've discovered how to leverage credit card welcome offers to get hundreds of thousands of dollars of travel expenses for nearly free. We've used credit card points and miles to take vacations to places like Hawaii, Paris, Greece, Maldives, Japan, and so much more. And the best part, we each still have 800 plus credit scores. Imagine being able to take the vacation of your dreams for nearly free. It's totally possible, and we're here to show you how. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Pam, Alex's mom.
And I'm Jess. Let's talk points. So we talk a lot about flexible points like Chase points, Capital One Venture Miles, etc. And it's no secret that they are our favorite kind of points. But that's not to say hotel and airline co-branded cards don't have their place. We love these cards as well. Today, we're going to be talking all about what we like and don't like about these cards, plus some of our favorite redemptions from welcome bonuses on co-branded cards.
So I'm going to kick it off and talk about some of the benefits of co-branded cards and why you might want to get one at some point. One of the reasons why we get co-branded cards is because of brand loyalty. Maybe you have a favorite airline that you always want to travel on. Or maybe it's a hub near your city. So I live near Denver. So United is a hub there. It made perfect sense for me to get the co-branded United card so that I could get free luggage when I traveled. If I wanted to check a bag, I can get priority boarding. So it just makes really good sense. You may love a certain hotel. You may not. Maybe you love another card besides Hyatt, although none of us can understand why. But you may really love a different card and you want to get that hotel card so that you are loyal to it and can get some of the perks of having that card. So those are some of the reasons why we have brand loyalty. Like I said, with my United card, some of the airlines, their co-branded cards have some really good benefits. Priority boarding is one that we really like. Free check bags. Now, we travel a lot of times just with carry-ons, but just once in a while, we really want to check a bag. Sometimes you can get free Wi-Fi or a discount on your Wi-Fi, discounts on the food that you might purchase on board. Some of them come with a lounge. You can get companion fares on Alaska, Delta, and American. And having these cards can also help you earn status. And it makes total sense to get a co-branded airline card at one that flies out of your local airport. And then hotel benefits are really great with our co-branded hotel cards. Many of them come with hotel status. So we might get free Wi-Fi, get more of a chance of getting an upgraded room. We can earn more points on the purchases at the hotel. One of our favorite perks of these cards is our annual free night certificates. And then you can also get elite nights towards status. The major drawback of these cards is that they lack the flexibility. So you are going to have to use these co-branded cards at that airline or at that hotel. So you're not going to be able to say you have and we get this question sometimes. People say that they have a United card and maybe they want to use it to stay at their favorite hotel, and that's just not going to work. And so there are some drawbacks, but they definitely have a place in our wallets. And so now we're going to talk about some of the times that we have opened co-branded cards. And Jess, why don't you start that for us?
Yeah. So when it comes to hotel co-branded cards, I do not open them unless I have a plan for how I'm going to use the points or free night certificates that come with that welcome offer. The exception is Hyatt because I am very loyal to Hyatt. I mostly stay at Hyatt's. And so it makes sense for me to have a Hyatt card so that I can earn those extra points on any incidentals that I incur during my stay. But some recent examples is I opened the IHG personal and business card so that I could redeem those points for the Kempton Sea Fire. So I had a redemption in mind when I opened those cards. Same with the Hilton cards. I opened the Aspire and the Hilton business card because they had increased offers and I wanted to use those points to go to Bora Bora. There are no Hyatt properties in Bora Bora. And so I knew that Hilton was my best bet when it comes to Bora Bora. So I opened those cards with a specific goal in mind. I do not currently have any Marriott cards, and I don't plan to get any Marriott cards for the foreseeable future just because their award prices are a little wonky. And Hilton is nice because their free night certificates can be redeemed at almost any Hilton. With Marriott, a lot of the times they're capped at 35,000 or 50,000 or 85,000, and so it's a little bit more difficult to redeem those free night certificates. So, that is my thought process for hotels. For airlines, I will open a personal airline credit card for airlines that I regularly fly. I am in Houston, so for me, that is United and Southwest. So I have Southwest cards and I have United. I have a United card. I'm a little bit more willing to open airline co-branded business cards a little bit more liberally since they don't count towards 524. And so as of the past year or two, I've opened a JetBlue business card. I use those to position myself to JFK when I went to Italy. I've opened an American Airlines business card and I've opened an Alaska Airlines business card just because American and Alaska miles are a little bit harder to get because none of the banks transfer to them. And so I kind of always like to have a stash of those. So that is my overall process for hotel and airline co-branded cards. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I'm the same. Unless it's a Hyatt card, I don't open a hotel card unless I have an idea of how I might use those points. And like it's not the worst thing to have some hotel points sitting around that you don't know how to use. You'll find a use for them, but I don't want to give up a 524 slot for a card that I don't have a plan for. I rather be earning flexible points where I know I have so many different ways where I can use them, so much more flexibility than, oh, I've got like, and here's the problem too. You get 150,000 Marriott points. What's that going to get me? That's not going to get me very much. And so if I open one Marriott card, I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot with it. So I need to have a strategy in place of, okay, I'm going to open one. My husband's going to open one. Here's the property that I want to go to, or here's a couple ideas of places I'd really like to try. And then I would start to earn those points for that. So one property I actually really want to visit is the Ritz-Carlton Turks and Caicos, but it's a lot of points. It's an expensive property. And as we've shared, Marriott sometimes charges a lot of points for their stays. So I have to be strategic about how I go about that. And so and I have to also look at like what's on my calendar. When could I even make this happen? And so I haven't even started trying to earn points for that stay because I don't have plans in the near future to go. I just know someday I'd like to. So once I'm more ready to, maybe a year ahead of time or so, I'll be thinking, okay, I'd like to go here, next year. Then I'll start looking at, okay, what are the Marriott offers? I'm going to wait for a limited time offer because that's the other thing with these hotel cards. A lot of them will have limited time offers. And so I rather wait till those cards are higher than, open it when it's a lower amount of points, especially when you don't know what you're going to do with it. So that's kind of how I am with hotel cards. I like to have an idea how I'm going to use them, and I like to open them when there's a limited time offer. Airline cards, I like to have a stockpile of points with Delta, American, and United. And I also like to obviously have Southwest points because we fly Southwest a ton as a family. But those first three, so Delta, American, and United, will sometimes have some really good award sales. And like Jess shared, American isn't a partner with any bank. So the only way I'm going to be able to fly American is if I open American Airlines co-branded cards. So when I use up all my points, I'm thinking, what's the next American Airlines card I could be getting? Is there any limited time offers going? And I think that's the key thing with all of these co-branded cards. co-branded cards more so than flexible point cards, I feel like, have limited time offers. And they have them more than, once a year. Like a Chase card might have a limited time offer once a year, if that. Whereas these co-branded cards, for example, I feel like the Delta cards go up maybe 2 to 3 times a year. Same thing with most of these. And so, if there's a really good offer, I think the last co-branded card I opened was an American Airlines card with a 75,000 point offer. It was the Barclays card, which is a really good offer because I think standard is about 50. It can go up to 60, but this was a unique time where they were doing 75,000 if you added an authorized user. So that's kind of how I do it. I look for those limited time offers. I look at what are my points balances with these banks or with these airlines. And if they're low, then I look into, okay, I know there's going to be a limited time offer coming around. I'm going to open up one of those cards. So I have a balance in case there's a really good deal going on and I want to be able to use those points. Because personally, I'd rather use my co-branded points. Like I'd rather use United miles than transfer from Chase to United because I like to save my Chase points for Hyatt. So I prefer to be able to use my co-branded cards without having to move my flexible points to those airlines or hotels. Mom, what about you?
Well, as I've said before, when I started this, I really didn't have a plan in place, and that's not how I would recommend people doing things. So I was opening up every card there was willy-nilly. So I got all the hotel cards. So I still have most of them because most of them came with a free night certificate. I have cards that you can't even get together now. So I have Chase Merit cards. I have American Express Merit cards that if you follow the eligibility chart now, you wouldn't even be able to have together. So it makes no sense for me to ever cancel those or because I wouldn't even be able to get them again. And I enjoy the free night certificates that come with them. So I probably don't have really any hotel cards that I can get in the future. I pretty much have them all right now. With airlines, I did a lot of those at the beginning too. Of course, United was a no-brainer for me. I have the Explorer, I have the Quest, I have the Business. I have them all and use that quite often since I live near Denver. Definitely one that I've always had an eye out for has been American. And that isn't that I travel American Airlines a ton. I don't probably ever travel them domestically, but those Q Suite deals to the Maldives are so sweet that I have
Those Q
wanted to
suites are so sweet.
the cute sweets are very sweet. And so I've always wanted to have plenty of AA miles in case I get a wild hair and decide that I'm going to go somewhere that I can fly cute sweets on again. So
Did you say
I
wild
like,
hair?
yeah, I'm showing my age a little bit there. You guys
I
don't
love
say
when you
wild
say
hair.
those little things. Well, there was another one she said recently, 6 of one and half a dozen of another.
Uh-huh,
That's one of my
exactly. Yeah.
favorites that you share.
No. So every now and then, I know that there are some listeners out there that can relate to that and say, I know exactly what Pam is talking about. So just some of the same people, you know, in my same generation. So other than that, I probably, I can't think of other, well, you know what? There is a new offer on Flying Blue credit card. It caught my eye a little bit. I'd have to do some more research on it, but I thought maybe because I, do a lot on Air France. So never say never. But at this point, I don't have any plans to open up any other airline cards for the time being.
Well, I think
Let's
the Air
talk.
France card can definitely make sense for somebody who's like a Delta person since you can book Delta flights through Air France too. So I've actually had my eye on that too. But I'm like, I don't know if that's worth the 524 slot right about now. Like, I don't need it. I've got a lot of points. And that's the other
Yeah,
thing too is sometimes, am I just wanting to open this because I could open it? But like, does it fit my strategy? Is
have you
this
so
going
much?
to impact my 524? How's this going to impact my 524? If it's a business card, I'm much more inclined to pull the trigger and go for it. Personal cards, I have to really think about those more.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes we can confuse FOMO and the fear of missing out with a strategy. And so I have to kind of, here's another one, pull the reins back and decide to take a breath and think about it. So,
I will say though, one thing I don't take breaths on though are flexible point cards because I know I'm going to have a way to use those points.
so Alex, we all have gotten some co-branded cards. What are the ones that you will keep?
Well, first of all, I don't keep every co-branded card. As we've said before, you want to keep every card that you open for at least a year. And from there, you can evaluate if the annual fee is worth keeping it long term. So my airline cards, I pretty much open and close the next year. I don't really keep them open except for my Delta Platinum card. And I keep that card because Salt Lake City is a Delta hub. I fly that often when I'm traveling alone. I value the benefits. The annual fee is $350 now, which is a little outrageous. But you do have the Delta Companion Fare, which used to only be able to be used in the contiguous 48 states. Now you can use it in Hawaii, Alaska, Mexico, I want to say Central America too. So it makes it, it better to use. So I plan on keeping that card. But other than that, like my other airline cards, I close them and then I eventually get them again for most of them. The ones that I can get again, I get again. So I kind of cycle through those a little bit. Southwest cards, I keep those for a bit and then eventually I try to get the Southwest Companion Pass again. And so I will eventually cancel and sign up for them again. For my hotel cards, I keep most of those for the free night award that comes with them. So Mitch has the IHG card. I actually don't have one. I might cancel his in the near future just so I can get it again. So I think that's part of the strategy too to keep in mind is what cards do I want to get again?
Yeah, I wanted to say that was my strategy also, just as a word of caution, is I canceled my old IHG card because I actually had a really old one. It didn't even come with a free night certificate. So I thought, I'm going to cancel it and I'm going to get the one that comes now with a free night certificate. And you get the fourth night free because mine didn't have that. Well, I canceled it, applied for the new one, and I got denied. So just as a little caution, there's always that possibility you might not get it right away. So
Yeah.
for people
Very
that
better
are
in the future, if you gave it some time and tried again, you'll be able to get it.
I think so, but I was majorly bummed. So I thought, okay,
Yeah.
I need to think this through before I do that next time.
Yeah. So the only cards, I haven't ever canceled my Hyatt card, and I could, but the sign up bonus on the Hyatt card isn't great anyway. I value the 5 elite. So with the personal card, you get 5 elite night credits every year towards status. So I value that. I value the free night award I get every year. So for me, I'm fine keeping that Hyatt card and not, canceling it and getting it again. I just plan on keeping that because once you cancel it and you get it again, you have to wait a whole nother year to get your free night. You don't get it the first year. You get it every year on your anniversary. And so for me, it's not worth the small sign up bonus to go through with that again. I will just keep it. So what about you, Jess? Tell us about your co-branded cards that you love or will keep.
So I plan to keep my Hyatt personal and my Hyatt business forever because they are crucial to me earning globalist status each year. Like you said, the personal comes with the 5 nights towards elite status, 5 nights towards elite status. The business comes with 5 elite nights for every $10,000 you spend on it. So combined, both of those cards are part of my strategy for earning globalist every year. I will say that my husband currently has both also, but I will probably cancel his Hyatt business card when his next annual fee hits because we don't both need globalist status. And so I'm going to keep his personal card, like you said, for the free night certificate, but the business one I'm going to cancel once the next annual fee hits. I will always keep my United card. Like Pam, I am in a United hub. And so the United card allows me to get increased award space and like you can get the Saver awards for fewer points if you have a United card. And so we'll never cancel my United card.
And that actually is one that I still have. But what I did is I downgraded to, because I don't fly United a ton. Like for you, it makes sense because
No,
you
I
fly
have
it
the
more.
Gateway.
Oh, you have
I
the Gateway
have
too.
I have the Gateway.
Okay, so yeah, I keep my Gateway card too, which is United's no annual fee card, because of the extra award availability. And I actually sometimes forget to use it, like for a long period of time. And I've gotten a couple letters in the mail from Chase that are like, "We're gonna close this card because you don't use it." And I'm like, "Oh, whoops!" And I like make a quick purchase on the card, and then I get to keep it again. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one.
I also plan to keep my Hilton Aspire card because it comes with diamond status at Hilton just for holding the card, and it comes with a free night certificate every year on my card member anniversary. I will probably also keep my Hilton business card because I get a free night certificate after $15,000 in spend in a calendar year with that one. So I kind of like get my Aspire free night certificate, get my business card free night certificate, and then I can combine them for a really fancy bougie Hilton weekend for free. I currently have both IHG cards, like I said, the personal and the business card, and the benefits are identical on those cards. I don't think there's any reason for me to have both. And so I am probably going to cancel my IHG business card. It does not really impact your credit score when you cancel a business card because they don't appear on your credit report. And so that's why if I have a choice between closing a personal or a business card, I will close a business card. And then, like you said, I currently have a couple of Southwest business cards because that's how I earned my companion pass. And I'm going to cancel both of those at some point so that I can reapply for them and get the companion pass again. So, what about you, Pam?
So, just like both of you, I will keep my Hyatt and personal business cards open because since Jess introduced us to the world of Hyatt Globalists, I cannot be without it. And so I will keep those so I can get my elite night credits and so that I have the ability on the business to spend on and get some extra elite night credits. I too will always have at least one United card. Right now, I do need to get rid of my Quest and my business because I don't need to have that many of them, and then I can reapply for them. I used to have a Hilton Aspire, and I kick myself that I let that go because I've tried for it again, and they're going to make me wait my full 7 years, it sounds like. So I'm not able to get that, but I would love to have diamond status and that free night certificate like Jess has. But I do have the Hilton business card, and I will keep that for that free night certificate after a 15K spend that I will always be doing on paying my estimated taxes. And then I just keep all of my hotel cards. It makes sense to me to have them. I always get a really good stay that is at least double, if not triple, what I'm paying for my annual fee. So that's just cards that I will keep forever and ever. And again, because I have some multiples of the Marriott card, it just works for me since I have multiples that you couldn't even have at this point. So now we're going to transition over to what some of our favorite redemptions have been with our co-branded cards. So Jess, what are some of yours?
I have listed here all of my Hyatt Globalist stays, which is true because my co-branded cards are what got me to Globalist. So very thankful for all of my Globalist perks that I get from having those cards and putting the spend on them. But a couple of real world examples are I flew recently from Japan to Chicago nonstop on Japan Airlines business class for 60,000 American Airlines miles, which is one of the best deals in points and miles. And I got those 60,000 AA miles from opening the American Airlines business card. And so totally worth it to open that card. Another one, I haven't actually stayed yet, but I feel like how am I going to not like the Conrad Bora Bora? And I booked that using Hilton free night certificates and points that I earned from opening the Hilton business card and referring my husband for the Hilton business card. And so, really looking, Bora Bora has been on my bucket list for a very long time. And so, I am really grateful for the opportunity to stay there thanks to those points and certificates that I earned from the Hilton co branded cards. What about you, Pam?
Well, I've got another little thing for you guys. Sometimes I think that we're Debbie Downers about Hilton cards, and we are for just a normal stay, probably in the United States or somewhere, but you cannot beat a Conrad or a Waldorf Astoria for an aspirational luxury stay. I mean, they are amazing. And so I have to say that my visit and Alex's visit to the Conrad Bora Bora and in our recent visits to the Waldorf Astoria, Cabo, were amazing. And so those are at the top of some of the hotels that I've ever stayed at. And then, as I mentioned before, being able to fly in Q suites from the Maldives because of signing up for an American Airlines card is another great redemption that I've loved. I have had and really enjoyed using my United miles on the Polaris business class seats that I've flown to and from from London several times. I really like that their business class, and I like the Sundays, and it's just something that I feel very comfortable on. Of course, I'm going to say Hyatt stays too. Love Hyatt stays. Just this last weekend, Alex and I and a couple of her sisters, we took kids to Huntington Beach and to Disneyland. I was reminded about my very favorite Hyatt breakfast in the whole world at the Hyatt Regency Huntington Beach. It is phenomenal. I have to go there again just because I love the breakfast so much. They have this I think it's made of cornbread waffle, and then it's got chicken on it,
Fried
and
chicken.
then it's got poached eggs. It is incredible. Probably one of the best breakfasts I've ever had. And then one of my favorite stays was a recent stay. I love Park Hyatt. So the ability to stay at Park Hyatts with the Hyatt cards is just phenomenal. I loved my recent stay at the Abu Dhabi. I have loved many of my stays with the small luxury hotels from Hyatt. Sadly, those are moving now to Hilton. So maybe I'll be using some of my free night certificates for some of those. But I also love the Mr. and Mrs. Smith hotels. I stayed in them in Australia and New Zealand, and Hyatt and Hilton are doing a little swap Aru there. And so the Mr. and Mrs. Smith brand is
I thought
coming
they were,
to.
no, I think those are with IHG.
Are
Yeah, they're
Okay.
with Mr. and Smith has been with IHG. They're moving to Hyatt.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yes. I knew there was a switcheroo. I just
There's
got
a
the switcheroo
switcheroo.
wrong.
It's just 3 parties involved.
There's a love triangle.
Yeah.
Yes. But, those are some really great stays too. So,
Yeah.
and then I have to do a shout out for probably one of my favorite hotel stays ever. And that was early in the game, one of the first hotels I went to with Marriott points. And it still is a fabulous deal. It is still not that, considering Marriott points don't go very far. They still go pretty far at this hotel, and that's the JW Marriott in Phu Quoc, Vietnam. Incredible hotel. So interesting. It was kind of like a Harry Potter experience. We just oohed and awed in every corner. It was just a really great stay. So lots of great stays, lots of great flights on co-branded cards for Pam. So Alex, how about you?
Okay, so gotta go with the same as you with the Qatar Airways Q Suite flight. We flew that home from Maldives, 70,000 American Airlines miles. Like dream flight, bucket list experience. I've talked about it a lot in other episodes. Also, part of that dream vacation was staying in Overwater Villa in Maldives. We stayed at the Le Méridien. It's a Marriott property. Booked that with Marriott points from the Marriott co-branded cards. So Marriott, and that is one that is still totally doable. with Marriott. Like, I know we give Marriott a bad rap too sometimes because when they got rid of their award chart, that was pretty brutal to like some of the properties we like to visit. But there still is some value to be had there. Just like we said before, if you want to open a Marriott card, I definitely think you want to have an idea of how you're going to use those points, or you could be sorely disappointed when you go to redeem them and realize they're not going to go that far. So definitely great value to still be had. Is if you just might have to look for it for a bit. But that is one place that I would highly recommend using Marriott points is the Le Méridien. I also really enjoyed staying at the Kimpton Seafire using IHG points. And I know all three of us have been there. All three of us really enjoyed it. What was really nice about this property is I had only opened one. Well, actually, it was my husband who got the card, but he opened it. It was just 140,000 points. At the time, that was considered an increased offer, but now I think it was a while ago. Now that's kind of their standard offer. That got us 2 nights there. But then IHG is one of those places where buying points from them isn't a bad idea, especially when they have a promotion going on. So I bought 35,000 points, but there was a promotion going on where we got a 100% bonus. So I got 70,000 points. That was enough for 3 nights. But because we had the IHG card, buy 3 nights, get the 4th free. We got a 4-night stay. So it really worked out really well by just having the one card. I think I paid $350 for the 70,000 points that we got, which a night there goes for around 1,000. So pretty good because that got us an extra night. So I think that's a really good way for people to do it because you only have to open one credit card and then you can get a 4-night stay at the Kimpton Seafire. Whereas a lot of these other properties, you're going to be needing to open probably 2 cards to get a good stay, maybe even more depending where you want to go and what the offers are. So yeah, we all loved the Kimpton Seafire. Of course, I have to give a huge shout out to Southwest for sponsoring, quote unquote, sponsoring all of my family's flights since we got into the Points and Miles game. So would not be possible to do all of the travels we have done without Southwest and their companion pass, their low priced flights. So big fans over here. And then lastly, this isn't the most luxurious or fanciest. And also I was joking, Southwest doesn't sponsor any of my flights.
I was going to say, I mean, I wish they did.
I wish they did, but no,
But
they don't
no,
actually. I mean, like, there are points. So I was joking. They don't sponsor our flights, but just we fly them so much and I've got so many points.
But hey, if you do want to sponsor us, Southwest, hit us up because we are more than willing.
And I would even fly them more if they want to sponsor us too. They could even get Pam on board.
So lastly, not as fancy as some of these others, not as maybe exciting, but I have hung on to, between my husband and I, we have 3 Marriott cards. They're ones that each year come with a $35K free night certificate. We have hung on to those, and those have been really helpful for our family. We use those free nights when we travel for my kids' sports. So that's a big one for us is those hotel free night certificates from Hyatt, not Hilton. Those ones I definitely am not going to be using to stay at a Hilton Garden Inn or anything. But like Marriott, IHG, some of those free nights have been really helpful for us for getting my kids' sports, traveling for their sports for free. So doesn't always have to be super fancy. Sometimes it can just be convenient and saving you some money and making things more doable. So lots of good stuff from co-branded cards. As you can see, each of us have had some really amazing experiences.
So we are absolutely all about those flexible currency credit cards because they offer so many options. However, co-branded credit cards have a definite place in our wallets too, especially business co-branded credit cards that don't take a 5 and 24 spot. As you can see, we've had some amazing flights and stays due to co-branded cards. Would you like to travel for pennies on the dollar like we do too? Listen to our webinar, How to Get Your Next Vacation for Nearly Free. We'll put a link in the show note.
Thanks so much for listening to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button from wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Want to start jet setting even faster? Follow the links in the show notes to learn about everything we discussed in today's episode. And to stay connected and follow along, follow us on Instagram at Travel Mom Squad. We can't wait to see where in the world points and miles take you.